Thank you. To briefly recap, I'd like to go over what I see as the next steps of the most important things we need to do here in the city. We need to create a vetted financial plan, including goals and incentives. We need to identify past industrial sites and prioritize environmental assessment here in the city. We need to develop guidelines and mechanisms for the redevelopment of our corridors. We need to complete projects that enhance pedestrian access and bicycle access, the VRE and FRED. We need to inventory our cultural resources. We had one a few years ago. It's old, it's non-inclusive. We need to update it, and that points out the need to have a living, breathing cultural inventory that continues to constantly absorb the new information we find. We need to advance our heritage tourism. Pick up a magazine on Virginia and look at the back of it. You'll find many of our great cities here in Virginia advertised. Do not see the big advertisements for the city of Fredericksburg. We've fallen down on that in the past few years. We need to update our heritage tourism. We also need to enable our traditional urban usage patterns. We're making some progress towards that. It may seem like an obscure phrase. Basically, it's the way cities have functioned for thousands of years and the way I see to continue to build Fredericksburg as a sustainable city in the future. Thanks.
It's tough to cover a lot of issues in 2 minutes of closing statements, so what I'd ask is, if you go on to Friends4, that's the number 4, Matt.com, I've got posts on every issue you can think of. And what's interesting about my website, it's a little bit different than others, this is not the product of a month's worth of work and putting up for a campaign. These are articles and blog posts and things that I've written over the years on almost any issue you can think of. And that's the critically important thing as this city goes forward. There's quality of life issues, there's issues of maintaining the historic and unique character of our city, which is absolutely critical. That's going to take a community discussion to get us where we need to go. Things have changed since the downturn in the economy. We're going to have to learn to do things leaner and meaner than we've ever done before. And we are going to have discussions about downtown events. We are going to have discussions about incentives. But that needs to be a community discussion, the give and take. There is no us against them in anything that we do in the city. There are different perspectives, there are different concerns that need to be addressed, but that's the way it should be. And it's imperative that we do that. My wife and I are both from military families. We've moved all over the place. When we came to Fredericksburg, we met here in the city, we decided, made a conscious decision that we were going to stay and raise our family here. And we've raised 3 children, we now have 3 grandchildren. We've turned down job opportunities to go elsewhere. We plan to spend the rest of our lives in this city. We love it, the history, the community, the people. This is a unique place, frankly, for us, having gone through LA's and all of the other places that we've been stationed in over the years. You know, I've spent more time of my life here in Fredericksburg. I suddenly realized that the other day. And I want to stay here, and I want to have a great community. I've spent a lot of time working on a lot of issues in the city from 1981. If you go on and look at it, I've been in boards, commissions, chairman of FAMPOs, GWRCs, VREs, you name it. I'm committed to this community. I'm committed to work for this community. It's easy to push a button when you're on council. Boom, you've made a decision. Look what I'm for. It's another thing to have to work for it. Thank you.
First of all, thank you to James Monroe High School, Fredericksburg.com, the College Heights, the College Terrace, the Maury Neighborhood, the College Hill, Civic Associations, and to University of Mary Washington for hosting this event tonight. And thank you all for being here. The city is in very good hands. We have a council and staff committed to making sure Fredericksburg is meeting the needs of Fredericksburg now and for the future. Despite the hard economic times, we have maintained a very strong bond rating. Is there more to do? Absolutely, and that's what I hope to be able to be a part of. We've laid the groundwork, and I'd like to see the Riverfront Park come to fruition. I'd like to see much of our incredible talent in the city be able to perform at our very own Performing Arts Center. I'd like to see additional neighborhood pocket parks and community gardens develop, amenities that bring people together and really define us as a community. At some point, when Dixon Park is more developed with additional amenities, I'd like to see the Dorothy Hart Community Center turn into a senior center for many people in our community. So there are many projects that are to come. There are many projects that I would like to be a part of. There are many projects I would like you to be a part of with me and with council. So I would like to thank you all for the privilege of serving on council for the past 8 years. And I ask for your consideration on May 1st. Thank you.
Thank you again for having me here and for being here this evening. I want to thank my seasoned opponents for taking it easy on me, being too hard. I give myself maybe a C-, and I'm feeling pretty generous tonight. But this was definitely a real experience for me. Fredericksburg has a choice to make. What kind of leadership do we want for our city? Do we want to stick, with no offense, with the old guard? Do we want to overpay for a new courthouse? Do you want to cycle through another campaign of platitudes when we're all saying them and promises? Just a relay race to the next city council campaign? Or is it time for new leadership? Do you want change? Is change desirable? Do you want to see our city finally invest in our arts community? We talk a lot about it, but look at the facts. What about our riverfront, our historic downtown, all the neighborhoods throughout our community? Do you want to see Fredericksburg promote all of its assets? Are we tired of our entryways looking disheveled? Maybe most importantly, do we want to see City Council take the action necessary to get the word out to tourists and visitors of everything that we have to offer here in Fredericksburg? This is what I'm offering you. I don't have all the answers. It's obvious. With all due respect to my opponents, I believe it's time for new leadership. It's time for a new generation, one that's willing to swing the bat. Fredericksburg is home to my family and I. Like Mr. Kelly, we've made a conscious decision that this is where we're going to raise our family. Lindsay and I are raising our 2 young girls here, and I want to do my part. That's why I'm standing here tonight, to ensure that they grow up in a prosperous community, one where the future is marked by potential being met. My name is Paul Quinn. You can learn more about me on my website, votepaulquinn.com. I'm asking for your support. I'm asking for just 1 or 2 votes for City Council on May 1st. Thank you and have a good night.
Please join me in a round of applause for